happening.
Burn the boat in the kingdom, can't turn around. We're lighting up the night, shaking up the ground. Excuses and flames, yeah, we're breaking free. We'll be fire, this is our legacy.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Kinder?
What's up?
Dang, it feels like I haven't talked to you I talked to you just Sunday,
dude,
but before that
way. We talked on Sunday even, but yeah, it does feel like we haven't connected.
You know what? When you're busy changing lives, you don't got time to bullshit around.
Dude,
It ain't time for bullshit.
Man, dude, it's I mean, I know you're working over there working. I ain't never been this busy, not ever. Not since I've been at EXP. It's a good time right now. It's fascinating, dude. Fascinating.
Yeah, man. Good times. What is it? I think it's the last 3 weeks, we've had close to 140 agents just in the last 3 weeks that have committed, made application. They're on the way. That's just our group. That's just our, Honey Badger Nation.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, a lot of the other leaders are out there killing it, but we don't have time to look around at other scoreboards. We're just looking at ours, and the future's looking bright, man. I'm excited.
I think I'm showing the last 30 days 256.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, it's and I don't think that number includes any of the co-sponsor things that are rocking.
That would make sense because from our numbers, it was looking at somewhere around 140 make an application now. Those would not be counted into that 250.
Right.
That was 250 lagging from the last 30 days. So on fire in the one big fire. We're going to talk we're going to talk about something fun today. And maybe it's not fun for everybody, but we love talking about money and how money moves and how people move money and the real estate industry. We're real estate geeks in that sense. So all the real estate stocks, the service stocks, everybody kind of took a nosedive in the last, say, 7-8 days or so. And from what I've been reading, Jay, I don't know if you have a different take on it. I'd love to find out what your
I definitely have a take on this. I think it's fascinating, bro.
So Wall Street, trades on fear. We know that, right? And what I'm reading is that the fear is that AI is going to be taking over. Agents are going to be being taken over by AI agents. And I could just say this: if you're a real estate company, real estate team, and AI removes your margin and doesn't add to your margin, then you don't have a strong business model. Period. Right. It should be actually working the opposite direction. But we're seeing these stocks, the real estate stocks tanking, and Wall Street's moving the other way, which begs the question: if Wall Street is operating out of fear right now with the real estate, tech stocks and real estate, Zillow's taking, has its own set of problems, but I'm talking about real estate companies. Is it a good time to go public in 2026? if you're especially, you're not an innovator,
time, did you?
Yeah. If you're not an innovator, you're an imitator, you're an implementer. We'll call it an implementer. One of the competition that we're kind of talking about that I heard, is looking at going public this year.
They've been going public for the last 2 years, 3 years.
Right. But no, they won Innovator of the Year, which I just saw this yesterday. I was like fascinated. Like, how do you win innovate? You didn't innovate anything. You're a great imitator. And by the way, I got no problem with imitators, right? Like
I didn't get to where I'm at by innovating new ideas. I'm a great copycatter. I ain't hating on that. Not at all.
Yeah. But the question is,
if you went over there and you were promised a whole bunch of stock when it IPOs, you might want to think about the situation that we're in. I don't know if I would go public based on the current market. And it's going to be volatile things are moving so fast. How do you know where to put your money in the stock market? It's a gamble right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is. And they're clearly not putting them into real estate stocks.
Yeah.
That's the part we know.
What Wall Street is saying is they're saying that we're a service industry. AI is going to make us more efficient. which means that consumers are going to demand lower fees. That's not how it works, but it's a hit that we're taking. They're repricing real estate stocks based on that being the future. And even if it doesn't become the future, they already repriced the valuation of the companies. So that's, that is, and I don't know how that happens in a market, in a free market, where they reprice the value of an entire industry, and it just happens like that. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
But that's what they're betting. They're betting that we're going to become more, which we are. We're becoming so much more efficient in so many ways, dude. I've been down every rabbit hole. Have you seen this Claude thing? Claude?
No.
So I ain't trying to get into it on this podcast, but I had a call with somebody that was trying to come over to EXP. They were working on this AI thing. Couldn't really explain it to me. Said it does everything. I'm like, that's basically how you explain AI. like you couldn't give me an explanation. It's going to change your life. That was it. And I was like, okay, I'll get on a call and look at it. They basically were creating a similar. It's you put it on either up in the cloud or into a separate server, and it's working and it's talking to all the other AI agents and doing everything all the time. And so this guy brings me on the call, and I was trying to get off the call. I was like, this is a waste of my time. But he's like, he named it George. He said, WhatsApp message it, whatever you want it to do. I said, all right, build me a website for Honey Badger Nation to help recruit agents. And that was it. I was like, we'll see what happens. A minute and a half later, this sumbitch had built a badass website, bought the URLs, set up everything.
What?
All the forms connected, dude, in 1.5 minutes, it was done. And I was like, okay, you got my attention. And then I went down the rabbit hole of these Claude bots. And I don't know if you listen to, we should keep listening. Everybody on here should be listening to not Pomp. That one is crypto. It's the All In podcast with Shamat and those guys.
Oh yeah.
Man, dude, they've been going off on it for 4 weeks. And I was like, then Jeffrey comes over and he's like, I'm surprised you don't have a Claude bot. And I was like, what the fuck is a Claude bot? And so I'm down this rabbit hole. I'm about to set mine up. But yeah, dude, it's just, we're becoming more efficient. That's all it boils down to. That doesn't mean that we're going to do a better job and we're going to do it more efficiently. That's how you earn a higher fee, not a lower fee. Like it's just not how the real estate industry, it's not how the consumers, they're not going to come to you and because you do a way better job, much more efficiently. We want it to be cheaper. That's not how it works. That's not how consumers think. And so I think the repricing is off, but I can't predict where this is going to go up or down, but yeah, it's definitely not a good time to go public in real estate right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's a big difference. And I kind of went into ChatGPT and played around in there and really kind of broke down the difference. When we went public, it was a reverse merger we did in 2013, but really, we kind of we're sitting on a shelf for a little while, right? Until about 2015 when everything took off. And that was different. So it was a post 28 crash, like the 08 crash we were already playing cleanup with it. We were already clearly on an upswing back into the market. It was a clear recovery. No one thought that we weren't in a recovery at that point. We had tailwind coming at us. We had low interest rates. The interest rates, I think, were
lowest interest rates we've ever seen.
Yeah. So zero competitors, blue ocean, versus now it's a pretty crowded market. So, it's kind of like the new advent of the cloud brokerages, revenue share stock. It's not novel anymore. And EXP, when they hit, it was novel. The model was a novel model, right? Mortgage rates low. And the agent count then was growing. Like right now, agent count's not growing. It's actually going in the opposite direction. So, the argument to go public right now, you could make the argument. You could say, well, this is the time to do it because you want to do it when the market, is at the stocks are low. That's when you want to get into the market when it's low. And that's the one argument you can make.
Right.
But what offsets that is the fact that you can't create agent count in the U.S. kind of fluctuates up and down based upon market. When things are good, all the agents,
Yep.
Lots of people getting their real estate license. When things get tough, everybody's, either dropping out. Your onesie twosies turned into zeros, and it doesn't make sense for them to carry their license and pay the, in Ohio, it's about, I think it's like $1,100 a year. That includes MLS fees, your realtor dues, and all that other stuff. Which kind of brings us to a whole nother thing too, is that now you got NAR falling apart, literally falling apart with membership. They can't keep membership, so that was an entity, like it or not. NAR was the home base of real estate agents for I don't know how many of the last 50 plus years, whatever
Right.
it is. Okay. That's crumbling right now. And we got all the litigation. That was not the case back in 2013, 2015, 2014. We didn't have all that. So it's a gamble, to say the least.
Yeah.
As far as like the comparison.
Well,
And,
the other thing is, if you're going to IPO this year on a story, you better not have the industry norm for attrition. That's the P. You could be adding a bunch of agents, but if your attrition is high, how does that? What happens when you IPO? You ain't IPOing in that environment. You have to stop the attrition. And this is a difficult, agents that are getting out of the business at a high rate because of the market conditions. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to do that, especially if you happen to be a brokerage that has, low or no fees. So
yeah,
you tend to attract the kind of people that are not doing deals. So yeah, it's fascinating times, man. Fascinating.
Yeah. So no tailwind. They're launching in a compressed transaction market. You make a really good point. The fact that you could say that a business model in real estate, it's either going to have a high retention rate, maintain retention, or have an attrition rate that outweighs the amount of
Right.
agents coming in. But that's based upon the model.
Yep.
Right now, we're not talking about the models. Like, real estate as a whole is having attrition, is experiencing attrition, just
Right.
across all models right
Right.
now. So you're fighting that.
Yeah.
Not only do you not have a tailwind, you're actually flying into a
Right.
tailwind.
You're flying
and
into
it's
a
just-
mountain, maybe.
It is. It's tough. And we have scale
And
advantage.
you can't the unfortunate thing, like, to be quite honest, I think because first mover advantage, we had a lot more. All of these things combined allowed us to move through the times differently. And then COVID hits in the hottest market we've seen in who knows how long. And it just justified our model even more as being cloud-based. And so, it's one of those things, man, like you couldn't probably do it again the way it happened. You couldn't have been in a better scenario. Now it took, from 2009 to today to be where we're at. But, man, fighting, you can't predict 10 years from now where you're going to be in terms of your cycle of trying to grow and scale, and it just not being the right time. You go back and look at companies that went out of business over the last 20 years that have been companies that were at scale, and it's a lot of companies in real estate. And so, it's so difficult to get the right infrastructure, the right people, the right model, and nail everything at the same time and go into a headwind at the same. Man, it's like the worst case scenario. Like, you're like, oh, really? Y'all really?
Yeah.
It would not be what I'd want to do. But that being said, hey, we welcome the competition. Get you some.
We do. We love it. That's what makes this so much fun. I've never had this much fun, over the last 8-9 years here.
No
But
doubt.
here's my question to you. Okay. So here's my question to anybody listening, and put it in the comments if you have your 2 cents you want to add to this. But are there enough today, 2016, we're February 17th. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Hope everyone had a great Valentine's weekend. Are there enough productive agents in today's market to support 2 additional large-scale revenue share platforms? That's the question. Are there enough?
So ask the question again. I'm sorry.
So are there enough productive real estate agents in the U.S. and Canada? Let's just face it, like those are the two. Canada's a small portion of that, but still there. And we love our Canadian partners. Are there enough productive, that's the key word here, productive agents in today's market to support 2 additional large-scale revenue share models?
That is a great
Are there enough?
question. That is a great question. That's a great question. Yeah. And so you weren't at the meeting in San Antonio. You'd been, world traveling.
I was missing. I missed it.
One of the things that that we track at EXP, and it's tracked in our dashboards as well, is production per agent. And our production per agent numbers are strong. Compass's is strong too. It won't be now because if you take Anywhere, put it into that and blend it, they're probably down by the bottom. But
sure.
But the disadvantage is if your model attracts agents that don't produce, then there's no revenue to share. There's no company dollar, right? And so, if you look at, the 16,000 cap at EXP, we attract producers where companies that don't charge, they have a transaction fee type model. They're going to attract the agents that do 1 or 2 deals or just looking for that place to hold their license right before they get out of the business, and they can't, they're on their way out. They're just like, let me hang it here. Right. Yeah. And so you're not attracting producers. Producers don't want to be around agents that don't produce, but it's not, it's a great question. I don't know what the number is, from a supported via revenue share. Because that's a fascinating question. I would say probably not more than 2. Not more than 2.
It's going to be it's really just now we're again, you're rowing upstream again, and man, I want to see everybody win. I do, because the truth is that, even though, Glenn invented the model, it's been iterated on, and now it shows that there's proof that this is the right way to go. So we have proof of concept through the new ones coming on board. But again, going back to that question, are there enough productive agents for another 2 people to come in and so it boils down to, from an investor standpoint, because you need the cash to go to public, it's a cash play.
Right.
So what are they betting on? They're betting on a model. Well, they're going to look back at ours. They're going to look at Real. They're going to say, okay, are they profitable? Well, we've been profitable the whole way. Real, I believe, just recently got profitable. Prior to that, even in a really, really good market, they weren't profitable.
Yeah,
they were a lot of money. So I don't know. We don't know with LPT because they're not public, so we can't see their books. We don't know where they sit. Same thing with Epic. But we do know this. I was on last night. I was,
is Epic still a thing? Is that
I don't know. I think so. But here's why I know, because I was on a Facebook forum and someone put up an anonymous post. I love the anonymous post because people just get loose on them. They'll give a shit what they say in it because their name ain't attached. But it was actually a really good post. And they were talking about how they were with EXP, and then they had moved over. They did pretty good with the stock, because after the stock split, I think they're like, hey, we hit it. We hit the jackpot. They cashed out after we had the stock split, whatever. And they moved over to Epic, and they were thinking of like rinse and repeat. I'm going to do the same thing. LPT. So they went over and they started, I think they had like 120, I think he mentioned, of agents in his rev share at EXP left. Figured, hey man, I'm going to do it, but even bigger with LPT. What he said in this post was, what I noticed was one of the things that attracted me to LPT was they had this 100% model. I thought that was a great option until I started figuring out if I was interested in revenue share, and the majority of agents do take that option of the 100% model that does not really pay much out in revenue share at all. He was like, man, I really messed up. And then, in the text that I was writing, he was like, shit, I didn't bank on that one. Which begs the offer, like, okay, when it's not just the existing market number of productive agents. That's a huge factor. Then you got to factor in the market. Who's going to be attracted to a 100%, no upfront, no monthly fees, the cheapest in the house? You get to keep 100% of your commission. You pay a transaction fee of $500, whatever it is. Who's attracted to that? It's the same thing when we talk about a FSBO real estate brokerage model. selling me home, $795. I sold that model before I met you guys, right? Like,
yeah.
I was in the discount brokerage, and I'm going to tell you, the types of sellers that you attract are the ones that have no respect for what real estate agents, a true real estate professional, does. That's why they're like, I'm going to try to pay the least amount as possible. Okay. And the same goes for, anytime I've seen a flat fee model type. So, you're going to attract the broke agents, like when we have people joining us, it's an $85 a month fee to join in and be at EXP. And if that stops you in your tracks, well, I don't think that real estate's for you. I'm just being real brutally honest here. Like, what business can you start today where you have the potential to make millions of dollars in this business and not have to put any capital whatsoever up? Like, sign me up for whatever that is. But real estate's the closest to that. And all you got to do is be open-minded, willing to learn, and learn how to become a marketer, and put your nose to the grind and work your tail off, right? Like we did, but then learn marketing. That's all you got to be able to do. But if you can't stroke an $85 a month check, I mean, that's a great, I like it from the standpoint of like, I'll be honest, Jay, I have said this. I'm like, damn, I wish we had another option for the 85. And then we keep growing. And last week we just put 54 people into application. And I'm like, all right, we're good. Because we don't want every single agent.
No, it's the same reason that you put like we priced our coaching at a level that immediately weeded out the people we didn't want, right? Like, it's a strategic move. It's not that revenue was important early on, and it's probably still important today because it's a lot. But try to operate without an arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're gonna be cheaper. So there's less company dollar. We're gonna eat the cost. Because you still have to provide some value. So they're still paying for some tech and providing that. They're just not collecting any revenue for it. So now your margins are even thinner, and your attrition is higher because of the nature of your price point and entry into your model. It's a dumbass strategy. Like, I mean, it's just not. It's like you went to the grocery store and all the good stuff was gone, and you had to buy the low value option. Like, man, I really wanted some actually Honey Nut Cheerios, but that's already gone. That's EXP, so I guess we'll take the O's, whatever, right?
Jamie, hello, Jamie. Thank you for logging on. The brokerages, yeah, the two that I was, that I read about last night was LPT and Epic, are the two that are claiming that this is the year they're going to go public and take their stock public. So, yeah, if you're a stock owner,
hey, can we go on Poly Market and take odds on that?
Oh yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I'll put somebody up that they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
ballsy move.
I get tired of this though. Like, I'm so sick of people making empty promises and saying we're going to do this. Hang in there. Like, every brokerage does it. Like, and I think most of them mean well. And I'm talking a little bit different, not just about the hey, come over here, get some stock, and we're going public this year. You really don't know if you're going to do it or not, but you're going to sell it and it's going to happen. And you play this game of sit around and wait for 2-3 years. And hopefully someday it comes true. And then when it doesn't, you're going to be like, damn. But it's not being truthful. It's dirty, man. It's just dirty. I don't like that as a strategy for recruiting. Does it work? Absolutely. Because we all have a little bit of hope, right? Like, if this hits, man, it could be the thing that sets me free. But that they play that card. But when but once you commit to something, it's really difficult for you to go, I'm probably wrong about this, like internally, because you're like, I think I believe enough to be here, so I might as well keep believing. It's harder to stop that belief and just cut your losses and move on to where the opportunity is actually real, than it is to change,
Bro. What that just made me think of is you and I both been in that same exact spot. Okay? Yeah. I remember that it triggered an emotion in me It was back in 2017 when Sue and Christy walked out. Cliff showed me the model, and I'm like, absolutely not. This is BS. I don't know what are you trying to sell me?
Yeah.
Cliff, what kind of snake oil you got in your boot over there? Like whatever it was, I was trying to talk myself. It took me 60 days before I was like, Uncle, he had my, it was because I couldn't keep arguing against the model that was just built so beautifully.
Right.
But in my head, I was like, I know that if I succumb to this, that means I got to close my brokerage. And, like there's some ego in play there. I just 3 years ago. And I'm like, this is the plan. I'm going to partner with Mike.
You got a vision board. You got a vision board. You got employees. You've been casting a vision.
Yeah.
But I had to get
but that was nothing compared to what you had to get over. Because you guys had a model you were building out for a nationwide. Your goal was it 24? Was it 4,000 partners?
2,000 partners by December 27th, 2024 would have been.
You had all your fucking chips on the table with that bet. That was all in bet. You guys were like, here, whoop, all in. And so what was that like?
Yeah, it was like
having a sobering moment that you were wrong. Like that,
it's easy. It's easy to assume to adopt a methodology of assuming you're wrong when you've been wrong a lot. so I think to a certain degree, when we moved to the model of partner where we did everything for the agent, that shit worked. It worked so good. I remember being in a meeting and Mike Reese was in the office with the very first person that we pitched it to, and he comes in the office and Mike comes into my meeting with like I'm in the CEO role, so I've got all these executives we're in here. Mike's over here selling somebody partner, right? Like that's how it went down. And he comes in there and he's like, "Hey man, you want to come meet our new partner? I just sold him." They paid $7,500 to join the brokerage. $7,500 they paid us, and they were on a 50-50 split. And we took him from 15 transactions to 70 transactions in 12 months. But guess what he wanted to talk about? The split. And so did it work? Yeah, we can help any agent build their business and their brand. We know how to do that. But at the end of the day, in the back of my mind, I knew that it wasn't going to work. And that we'd be fighting the thing I hated most about having a team my whole career, which was having to talk to people about splits.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And so in the back of my mind, did I think we could get there? Maybe. Yeah. But I also realized, man, like it's going to be, you're fighting an uphill battle. You can provide a ton of value, but they're always going to want more of the commission split. And so it's nice to be able to do all of those things and not charge anything. So now we do what we did, and we charged $7,500 and got a 50% of your commission, and you happily joined. We had a waiting list to get in. Now we just let's
talk about that. What do you mean for free?
No, that's at no cost. Let's put that at no cost.
At no cost. No, that's what I mean. But like that's like if you're listening to this and you're like, free, bullshit.
Yeah, right? They don't get it.
You should be thinking that.
If people understood what we were doing, they'd already all be here.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So here's the cool thing. There's a little banner up there. It says Jet Fuel Leads.
Hey, does that URL take them to our live call on Thursday?
It does. Yeah.
Okay, so
/live. Go to this live call. Yeah. Look at our playbook.
Yeah. So come to our live call. Just especially if you're a competitor, just come in and watch what we're doing, and then you tell me if you think y'all can beat it, because it's the craziest thing we've ever done by far. But if you truly want to understand what's happening, the whole mechanics of the industry have changed, and we're just over here like nobody sees this. Like I can't believe nobody's picked up on this yet. Yeah, we built $100,000 a month marketing and implementation team similar to our model and partner before, except now we don't have to charge anything because we get paid a lot of money in revenue share. That's the bottom line. And so you come on board, we build your marketing, we build your branding, we do your content strategy, we implement everything, and you pay us nothing. Nothing. Yeah. That's it.
Here's what's fascinating.
The tax is over. You don't have to pay.
If you ever wanted to look over the shoulder of a highly efficient business model or a CEO that's running a highly efficient business model and meet their team and what $100,000 a month looks like per on talent, come to our live.
Yeah.
It's at noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern time, depending on where you're watching it. Just go on to jetfuelleads.com/live. I put the link in there too. And you'll get to see what it looks like to look over the shoulder of a CEO, eight figures in revenue that's coming into Honey Badger Nation, and what that looks like to invest $100,000 a month into a team that can implement and drive literally at this point thousands of agents' businesses for them and not have to charge them a dime.
It's a crazy,
come and check it out.
Craziest thing we've ever done by far.
Like,
but
imagine
again, we could not have done this. We could not have done this if it wasn't for EXP's model. There's no
who should log on though, Jay? Let's be very, very specific on who this is for.
Yeah,
because there's some people that this is not for.
Yeah.
Like, don't bother coming in. Let me tell you, tell us who this is for.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't make a loser a winner. Okay. So, like, if you're not coachable, if you're not willing to follow a process, here's what I can promise you. If I can get you into 30 conversations with people that want to buy and sell, ideally in the next 90 days, and you can take it from there, that's who should get on this call. So the game of real estate is very simple. And I'm explaining why people struggle, why people fail, why it's sporadic and it's hit and miss, and you got good months and bad months. It's all about conversations per day with people who want to buy and sell in the next 90 days and are open to doing business with you. Now, you've been told and taught to do open houses. What is that? Why do you do an open house? So that you can have conversations with people that want to buy and sell. Sometimes you have good open houses. Sometimes you have bad open houses. Sometimes you do them. Sometimes you don't. Is it a way to get into conversations? Yes. Most efficient, most effective? Absolutely not. I did them for years. I met a lot of people. A lot of the same people came to every open house for 2 years and never bought anything. But did I sell some people? Yeah, absolutely. Made some sales. Got a little traction. And so I was trying everything, right? You can door knock. I don't know how many doors you got to knock to find someone who's willing to sell in the next 90 days and open to doing business with you, but it's more doors than I'm willing to knock, okay? Not very efficient if you don't get shot in the process. You can network, okay? You can talk in the grocery line if you want to about real estate and you might find somebody that wants to buy or sell in the next 90 days. But if you go back to that same grocery store tomorrow, I'd be willing to bet that you can't do it again. It doesn't duplicate. So all of these things that we're taught to do, they don't scale. They're not predictable. There's not enough conversations happening to get you into predictable consistency and that sort of thing. So you have relationships. Hopefully you have a lot of them, because if you do, that's your only chance of survival until you learn marketing. So people that know, like, and trust you, best people you can have. You've been in the business a long time, repeat referral, another source, but you don't know when or where those referrals are going to be. So those are all challenges. The only way around that is to learn how to market. How do we increase the number of conversations you're having? We generate leads. You have conversations. We build technology to help get you into those conversations. AI makes this. AI doesn't miss, by the way. The most beautiful thing in the world. It is incredibly effective at helping us do this at a super low cost, which is these poor real estate agents, man. Like we got tricked, man. Like we got tricked. No one said you need to learn how to do marketing. It wasn't long. We figured that out early on, man. Back in the day when we would put on realtor.com, you could copy and paste credit where it's due. Craig Proctor, he was teaching direct response marketing and selling a website and this, that, and the other. A bunch of us had it back in the day. But you could take those same links and you could copy the HTML and put it into realtor.com in the ad. So when people were scrolling through houses, yours would be with all these links that you could generate leads from. And we were just raking it in, man. Lead after lead after lead. Like realtor.com is the best thing ever. And then realtor.com caught on. And they're like, well, we ain't letting y'all do that no more. We're like, yeah. All right, well, give me Craigslist. So next thing you know, we're marketing on Craigslist. Like, oh God, the Craigslist days. But we've always, like, the reason we've been able to win is what we always have been marketing. But most agents get in the business, nobody teaches them it, and then it's complex now, and there's all these things you can do. And God forbid you log into your Facebook ad manager and try to figure that out. You can mess it up 900 different ways. And so you go pay 40% to a platform to give you a referral. Or somebody today, no bullshit. This is this morning now. This lady I'm on a call with, she said, yeah, my brokerage provides leads, but it's on a 70-30 split. And I was like, well, that's not that bad. And she said 30% to me. And I was like, what? I was like, Okay, that's not good. Like 30%. The brokerage is like, yeah, we'll give you leads. Let me take 70%. I was like, listen, if this was the medieval times, they would behead a king over this kind of tax. Like, this is unheard of. Like, that's not even in the game of reasonable, like 70-30. And she's like, yeah, I'm not working for nothing. I was like, I don't blame you. So what did she do? She came over to us. We do it for free. So like, you don't have to pay anything. You just have to pay your lead costs. If you pay $3 for a lead, then then let me get you 100 of them and you go sell about 2 houses a month. Let's do some quick math. 10,000 times 2 average commission in the US, 20,000. That's 240,000. You spend $300 in ad spend. So you're at $3,600 and you made 240. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Oh, I almost forgot. Minus 16,000 for your cap. So now you're capped at EXP. So you got to pay that. But that's it. That's a pretty good deal. And this industry, we're only going to become more efficient. AI is making it easier for us to lower the cost of customer acquisition. That's the game I'm playing. Like, this is fun to me. Like, this is it couldn't have been any better. Like, yeah, we're the best place that we've been ever in history.
So what you're saying is who this is for to join us on it's for someone that's looking to grow their business. If you're somebody who's not looking to grow your business, and there's some out there, I met him like 2 weeks ago. I had a call. He's like, man, this sounds like if I was looking to grow my business, this sounds perfect. But man, he was 72 years old, great guy, been in the business a long time, not looking to grow his business. Right. He's just right here. He's like, man, I'm too old. Hey, I get it. Let me share with you a story I haven't even told you yet, Jay.
Yeah.
Guess who just turned his ads off because he has 16 in pending. 16
what?
In pending.
16 in pending?
Yeah. Travis.
Travis
Wright. Met him as a new agent, 4 months in the business, Lawton, Oklahoma, your backyard. I just talked to him because he was on his way to the cell phone store because Apple's messing with his phone number. Long story. He was pretty frustrated. He goes, but here's the good news. I've never had 16 in pending in my life. I was like, holy Moses. He goes, yeah, dude, I had to pause the ads again. He's done that over the last 2 years. It'll be 2 years, our anniversary, when he joined us this April.
Right.
May. April or May. Dude, it only sold a handful of homes, brand new out of real estate school. Joined a brokerage, wasn't seeing the growth that he wanted to. Dude's got 16 in pending right now.
Yeah.
I think he closed the last year out. His second year with us, 58 sales.
Yeah.
And it's not all coming from the funnels, but here's the beauty. Well, he had no business before that. The funnels built his referral business now. Now his first year he had pedal to the metal, gas was down to the floor, and had all this business coming in. He's like, damn, this is awesome. Well, then he had to pause it because he had so many leads. There is such a thing as too many, right? So he had to, pause it, and he turns it back on.
We know what happens. It's Herbie. Herbie. He's
Herbie
consistently bottleneck.
Well, correct. And I mean, that's a whole different topic. Whereas, some people, we say, don't ever let your foot off. Keep those things coming in. And I hear that. But then, you may be looking at your first hire as an agent. You have an overflow of leads.
You know what, dude? You know what Leo said? Like Leo. So I had a call. Leo called me this morning. I'll fill you in on that later. Good stuff, man. But Leo crushes it. We're at Mario Victorica's event in San Antonio, and Leo's in there. Leo's the realist. Like, he's one of us. Like, everything he's saying, I'm like, dude. Like, this guy literally has done everything that we've done, and he knows how to help agents. And it was so good, the advice he was giving people when they were asking questions. And what was I going to say? So Leo, oh man, I lost it. Dadgummit. All right.
Leo, he called you this morning, today.
Yeah. I was thinking about what he called me this morning about. That was something completely different. Yeah, I lost it. It'll come back to me. ADHD moment. But yeah, anyways, keep going.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Here's the other. Yep. 16 in pending right now. You were saying he's realistic.
You know what I told Travis at your event and what was that? August, September?
In Cleveland? Yep. Yeah, September.
He said, he came to the event, agent to CEO, he's now in that place where I told him, I said, who you're going to have to become is a person who can lead people and get things off your plate. Oh, what Leo said in the room was, Mario asked a question. He said, what should I tell people that want to build a team, they're successful, they're having success, and they're wanting to build a team? What advice would you give them? He said, first question I would ask is, should you be building a team? And I was like, yeah, let's go, baby. Like, that's the right thing, because most of these people are doing 20, 30 deals and they think they should build a team. And the truth is, the person that should build a team is Travis, because Travis has deals he's not getting to. And that's what Leo said. Leo said, until you have so many leads you can't get back to all of them, you do not need to build a team. And he's so spot on. Like, I remember driving around when I was doing 200 and something deals with 4 admin and no buyer's agents, because nobody had ever built a team before. This is 2002, 2001. And I'm like, man, I got notes falling, those little the notes that you rip off the pad, they would fall into between the cracks of the vehicle. And I'd find one a week later. I was like, that's a damn listing opportunity I didn't call. It's like, it was like, that was happening to me. And so I was like, I know that I was
right here.
Yeah.
The
little perforated, phone call, you have a missed call. Yeah. So that was a real thing. And so I'm like, this is dumb. Like, I got to do something. Like, that's when you build a team. Like, when you say, I'm going to turn off the machine that's generated 16, help me get to 16 pendings. It's not the only thing. It's just one of the things. You don't turn it off, you go get help. And that's, the person he has to become now is a person who starts to learn delegation. And we're not born with these gifts. I didn't have them. I didn't know how to hire. I didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to lead. I had to become that person. And that, in order for him to go to the next level, he's going to have to become someone he's not. And that's what I told him. He said, man, that might've been the one thing I came here for. I was like, it is the one thing you came here for. You don't even know it yet, but it's the one thing you came for. And so, there's levels to the game, but it is about an evolution. And I hear people all the time be like, yeah, I don't really do good at delegating. Okay, well, you can't do it all. So you're going to have to get stuff off your plate. And so we tell ourselves a story that we can't do that, or we're not good at that. And it's not true. It's just who you have to become that person. And that's the ceiling a lot of people hit. And they think, well, I'm just not good at hiring, or I'm not good at delegating. I'm too much of a control freak. You're like, okay, that's great. Then, you're doing $5 an hour work here. So you can keep doing that, and you're going to never make $1 million a year, or you can learn something about how to get these things off your plate, and then you can go to the next level.
I'm going to have Travis join us on Thursday. So if you're watching this, you want to meet a real, this is one of our, probably, if not the one of our best case studies.
Right.
Travis Wright.
Yep. Travis,
good old boy from Lawton, Oklahoma, who's just a student of the game from day one, dude. That's the differentiator. You're like, okay, well, why did it work for Travis and maybe not somebody else? He just was a student of the game. He didn't know enough to not believe that it was possible. He just did it.
I bet you when we ask him, he'll be a great interview. He'll be a great interview, because I bet if you ask him, I bet there was so many times that he questioned, like, man, is this really going to work? Man, I don't know about this. I bet you there were so many points where he had to just believe and trust that he would have said, I'm not doing this or that, or wanted to quit doing it or whatever. Right. Like, I'm really interested to hear, because, he followed us around, I can't wait to have the conversation, because he followed me around at your event the year before. Yeah. And I think he was just like, this knucklehead did it. It's got to be doable. Like, I don't, there's nothing special about him. I've been following him around. He seems pretty normal. Normal as normal could be. But good for him, man. I'm proud of that kid.
Yeah, I am too. He's a single dad. Just bought his first house for him and his daughter too. When we met him, he was living in the back house of his parents' property. What I'm saying? Like in an apartment above the pole barn, true story.
That's freaking awesome.
And, he just did the work. But here's the other person. So we're going to wrap up here, but who's the other person? If you're a team leader or you're a broker owner, okay, your goal should be, if it's not, this is what it should be. Okay. It should be constantly top grading your talent. Every single day, every single week, you either have a system that's kicking you out fresh opportunities, fresh conversations. You're having fresh conversations with talent, because your best talent is on its way out the door. for the most part, your biggest risk is always your highest producing agents if you're a team leader, right? So if we all know that's true, and if you don't believe it's true, then you probably haven't had a team long enough. I remember our buddy Dan, where I was out when I was first.
We were in Alaska.
Our mastermind. No, we were in Dallas, and I'm like, I just lost my 2 top agents, and I was telling them about my journey of why I decided to move the brokerage over. And Dan stood up. And he's like, I've had my people for 5 years. They ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
And literally, dude, he flew home.
Only to find out his best people all.
So both of them left. And I wasn't like, it was so bad. I felt so awful because I love them so much. Like, there's no way I would say I told you so.
Yeah.
But careful what you say.
Yeah.
Going back to if you're a broker owner team leader.
I mean, to be fair, he was awful sure about it.
Very sure. So confident. In fact, he was one of these guys in the room. I'm not losing anybody. I haven't lost anybody in 5 years.
I do so much for my people. They would never leave me.
We love them.
I paid to get, I helped them get off of drugs and this and that. Like their kids get out, like they'll never leave me because I do so much for them.
Yeah. Never say that, by the way. Never
just don't put that. Don't ever say that. Now, should you have what he was trying to say was I add so much value and I'm genuinely focused on changing their lives and I care about them that they'd be crazy to ever leave me because no one would ever do what I've done. But that doesn't mean they won't someday leave you.
That's right.
And so, that was a sad situation, but yeah.
So if you want to peek behind our curtain, join us on Thursday. If you're a broker or team leader, here's our offer to you. It's a pretty irresistible offer because I don't know anybody I can name off the top of my head who's onboarding an average of 200 agents a month. We are at Honey Badger Nation. You said 230 was the number.
Yeah, it's probably closer to 300 when you take in all the co-sponsors.
If you look at all the co-sponsors,
through a day.
So unless you have a machine that's kicking that out into your organization, you have nothing to lose. I would say this.
You'll learn something.
Record the whole thing if you want.
Yeah,
take everything we're doing and swipe it.
If you can copy it, you should.
I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you.
Yeah.
First of all, even if you have the disposable income to burn $100,000 a month, do you have the balls to do it?
Yes.
Well, come and play in the arena. Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, man.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. I love you. Go to jetfuelleads.com/live. We will see you on the live or from what is that? Are those
tuning? It's a tuning.
Oh, that's I thought that was a nipple clamp.
I'm trying to get the right agents to join us on Thursday. If you can hear this, we're talking to you. I'm like Carrot Top now. I got props. You ever see Carrot Top? He had a little
yeah.
What do you do? His
dude, he was the best. He was the best. Did you know that Carrot Top? I think he was out of Vegas.
Yeah,
dude, he was ripped. That dude worked out in the gym. He was a gym rat.
Yep.
I don't know if he's still around or not, but dude, that dude was.
It's a long time ago, but he has a really interesting story. I can't remember what it was, but he went through some hardship, I think, and all that over the years. But
yeah,
he was funny, man.
Awesome.
All
see you at the top, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday live. Hit that.
See you, Nevin. Peace.